'Tis the season for a DualShockers video game giveaway. Stay tuned to the end of this video for details on what the game is and how to enter. Now, back to your regularly scheduled video content.
Oh, this looks bad. It got serious numbers.
Hey everyone! You can give me all your desires.
Watch out! Shadows incoming!
Give it everything you've got, guys!
Welcome everybody to another DualShockers discussion. I am here tonight with Ryan Meitzler, who just recently got to check out a hotly anticipated game, and I think a lot of us, our viewers, will be interested in what you have to say, Ryan. So what game did you check out?
Well, it's a game that probably you may never have seen it coming, called Persona 5 Strikers, or as it's known in Japan, Persona 5 Scramble.
Wow. Finally getting an announcement, often and hotly anticipated to actually get a reveal. And this was first unofficially leaked by an accidental trailer post. I believe it was on Atlus's Twitter recently, but you knew about this. This wasn't a surprise to you. So you recently got to check out, Atlus showed you a bunch of game footage from the English build, isn't that correct?
Yeah, so basically, Atlus gave us a hands-off demo of, 30 minutes or so of gameplay from Persona 5 Strikers, which, so the game came out as Persona 5 Scramble in Japan, I think at the beginning of this year in like February, and then obviously Persona fans have been waiting to hear, when this game is getting a Western release, like given that Persona has been, increasingly popular in the West. So by the time you're watching this, they'll have announced that the game is going to come out in February 2021. It's going to be coming out on PS4, Switch, and PC. So it'll be pretty exciting that it's all coming out on all three of those platforms. And for anyone that hasn't that isn't familiar with this game, basically it's a spin-off from the Persona series, from Persona 5 specifically. It is a sort of continuation of the story of the original Persona 5, so it doesn't seem like it's going to incorporate stuff from Royal. It's just going to be sort of the original version of the game. And the difference with this game is that it's not a traditional JRPG like the Persona series is known for. It's more of an action RPG, and specifically it's in the style of sort of Musou, Dynasty Warriors, sort of hack and slash games.
So you had touched on this. This has been out in Japan for a while. We're finally getting it over. Did they confirm that they're bringing back all the voice actors from the original game, or the game that we got in Royal?
So they didn't specifically confirm this, but so just for anyone that doesn't know, so the game will have both English and Japanese voice acting options with a Western release. So you can choose if you want. You could have either English or Japanese voice acting. They didn't specifically confirm the English cast, but I think it sounds like them. So I'm pretty sure that it seems like it's the original cast from P5 and P5 Royal.
Very cool. So to kind of give people an idea, what's your kind of history and experience with Persona 5?
So I'm definitely more of a newcomer to Persona. Persona 4 was the first one that I played in like 2016, around there. That was like my gateway, and I love the series now ever since I played Persona 4. I played Persona 3 last year, and then I just finished Persona 5 Royal over the summer, and that was the first time I had gotten to play it. I played a little bit of the original Persona 5, but I never got around to finishing it. So, Persona 5 Royal was the first time that I got to finish and actually play through the whole game. And I'm actually going to be touching, because I'm working on a written preview for this now, and I'm going to touch on this. I think like Strikers definitely seems like it's coming out at a good time for me, because like I finished Royal and I miss that world. Like I miss my time, spending with those characters and with just everything about the atmosphere of that game. And for the most part, Persona 5 Strikers is like really faithful to Persona 5 and what fans like about that game. So I think it seems like it'll be an interesting sort of continuation of that, but with some new elements thrown into it as well.
So with this being a continuation, about how far or how long after the end of Persona 5 will this take place?
I don't have the exact amount offhand of how soon this takes place afterwards, but basically the gist of the story from what Atlus gave us is that this will be sort of like a road trip where the Phantom Thieves kind of come back together And like Persona 5 mostly took place in Tokyo, and so you went around to different parts of like Shibuya and all these different places. So this will actually take place across different cities and locations across Japan as a whole, which will be interesting. So I think that we'll see. We might the environment that they showed us was like something that probably looked a bit more. I think actually it took place in Shibuya, but it seems like it'll actually take place in some other parts of Japan. So there might be an opportunity maybe for them to do some different environments that we haven't seen in the original game.
Very cool. Very cool. So, kind of walk us through what you can talk about, I guess, from the hands-off demo that they showed.
Yeah, so basically, they showed us 30 minutes of gameplay, and basically, kind of gave a good overview of, what to expect from the game. So, obviously, continuing from Persona 5, you'll get to play as Joker, who I think in our demo, like they pretty much played as Joker the entire time. But you'll be able to play as I believe all the Phantom Thieves from the game. So you'll be able to play as Morgana. You'll be able to play as Haru. You'll be able to play as Makoto. You'll be able to switch between all of them. And the gameplay that they showed us mostly involved infiltrating what they call the jail, which is I guess which seems like this game's sort of equivalent to the palaces from Persona 5. And they're pretty similar in like the layout, where basically you kind of explore these different areas, and you'll be fighting shadows and fighting different enemies, and you'll have 4 party members with you, including Joker. So you can have Joker, then you have 3 other characters you can bring with you and sort of swap between them. And it's really interesting just because like the game really does feel like Persona 5. Like even though it is in a different genre, that it's more of like a hack and slash action RPG, the way the game looks, the way the game plays, like all feels pretty much like it could have come out of Persona 5, except just obviously just not really being a turn-based RPG. And there's a lot of emphasis sort of like finding different secrets. So if you go to different areas of the level, you can like find hidden like pathways you can go to reach different areas. You can interact with the environment to like take out enemies, and it's like other than the combat really is a little different, but otherwise like the elements of it feel a lot like Persona 5, which is I think definitely exciting for fans that are looking for more of that.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, because we are excuse me, officially in the next generation, quote unquote, or current gen, I'm assuming that this can run with no problem on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, so Atlus confirmed that this, so the PS4 version will be playable on the PS5 through backward compatibility, so you'll have no problems, jumping into playing it on that. They didn't confirm specifically about any kind of like, next gen enhancements or anything like that. So I don't think I would expect going into this that you're gonna get like, 120 frames per second or like 4K or anything like that. But like, I think because like Persona 5 was such like a stylish game on its own, that like this game for the most part like has a lot of that look and feel, so it doesn't necessarily need to it looks really good on its own, just for the art direction and the style and everything. But yeah, the demo that we saw was running on PS4, and it seemed
base
seemed like
Pro,
it was running.
do you know?
I don't know I don't remember specifically whether it was Pro or base. I would assume it's probably base. But yeah, it looked pretty good. It ran pretty good. I didn't really notice any. I mean, this was all run through online, so it's hard to gauge because there's like different when you're streaming it online and watching a something. But for the most part, it seemed like it was running pretty well. Didn't notice anything, and I think when the game comes out, I'm gonna have a hard time deciding whether I want to play it on PS4, Switch, or PC.
Yeah, and kind of touching upon PC, this will be the first time Persona 5 anything has been on PC. I'm guessing, did they mention Steam, I'm assuming? Kind of like what they did with Golden?
I would have to double check, but I believe it will be on Steam. I think they're planning to release it across. Let me confirm that, but yeah. No, I think it's really exciting that like earlier this year when they released Persona 4 Golden on PC, that they're recognizing that there's people that haven't played these games before and that might want to check them out. So I think having it not, because I think in Japan it came out on Switch and PS4. So now that they're adding PC into the mix is definitely an exciting thing.
I'm going to be anxious to see what sort of options, like PC specific options, they'll allow people to have in terms of uncapped frame rates, who knows what resolutions, things along those lines. Like how much work and kind of quality improvements or specific to PC options they deem to add in and put into the new port. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't have the exact platforms that'll be on PC, but I probably Steam. I'm sorry, Steam. So it will be on Steam. I'm not. I'm just not 100% sure about like Epic Game Store and other platforms that it might be on. Same thing with PS5. I don't think they specifically confirmed any like special features that you get in the PC version. So if you'll have like uncapped frame rates or anything like that, but I'm sure that probably also won't stop modders from trying to do crazy things with the PC version.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Now, with this being built on last gen technology technically, are they aiming for this to be like digital only? Are they doing physical as well? Did they touch on that at all?
Yeah, so as far as I know, they are doing physical release for at least PS4 and Switch. PC, I would assume probably just digital. They did also mention that there is going to be a digital deluxe edition that you can pick up, which is a special version that comes with it comes with a digital art book. It comes with I think a copy of the game soundtrack. It comes with some bonus item packs, and I believe it also comes with some bonus music tracks that are from like the previous Persona games. So it has some stuff from like Persona 4, Persona 3. I think some of the past games. And then the other thing too is that if you get the digital deluxe edition, you get 4 days early access to the game. So the game comes out on February 23rd, but if you get the digital deluxe edition, you'll be able to play it on the 19th of February.
Interesting. Did they touch on why they're kind of going that route with the digital at all?
Not specifically, no, but I mean, I guess mainly I guess to entice people because you can only get that with the digital deluxe edition. So I'm sure that's a a nice bonus. If
oh, really? So all that
up,
content's only with the digital version?
The bonus stuff, yeah, it's with the digital deluxe edition.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, like I know Ian.
Or actually, just to clarify, I don't know. They didn't mention anything about if there's going to be sort of like a collector's edition or a physical edition. So they might possibly include that if there is. But as far as I know right now, I think it's just tied to the digital deluxe version.
Okay, here's hoping. I mean, Persona 5 got some fantastic collector's editions, so here's hoping that this one will get some as well. I don't remember if the Japanese release got like a special collector's edition. I don't recall, but. Did they touch on perhaps any sort of demo being released? I know they released a demo in Japan before the game release. Anything for us Westerners?
Nothing yet. No, they that came up during the demo presentation, but they didn't have anything to say right now about whether there's going to be a demo or not. I would hope so. I think it'd probably be a good opportunity for people to try it out, see if it's something they'll like, especially if they're a Persona fan, but maybe might not know whether they'll like the sort of more action style gameplay that's in this one. But yeah, I mean it's also not that far from release. It's only 2 months away, so hopefully we might hear 2.5 months or so. So hopefully we'll maybe hear more about that soon.
Yeah, here's hoping. Who knows? At the time of recording, we really know very little about it, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a shadow drop of a gameplay demo on Thursday at the Game Awards, which could be cool. So. In terms of kind of length, I know our Ian has, I believe, played through it at this point in Japanese and everything, and he really liked it. So I'm very excited to, like you mentioned earlier, join back up with the Phantom Thieves. I love the characters in the world, so I'm anxious to see how well it translates for myself into the Musou formula.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think I actually, because I just in terms of Musou games, I haven't really played a lot of them. Really the only one I've ever really put a lot of time into was Hyrule Warriors, and that was mostly because I was looking forward to it for the the tie-ins to the Zelda franchise. And I think this game definitely gives me sort of that vibe of Hyrule Warriors, but I think what it really does and what impressed me was just the fact that it just was so devoted to sort of feeling like Persona 5, and just in the gameplay demo that we saw, there were some scenes where you get to walk around in Shibuya in different areas as Joker, like you would in Persona 5, where you can go choose to go hang out with your friends, you can go do different activities, and there's a section where you get to check out some areas that look new that I don't think were in the original game, but then there's a part where you go to LeBlanc and you get to go hang out with Morgana, and you go to sleep go to sleep and all that. So yeah, no, I think I was just really impressed that if you put this game side by side with Persona 5, I think like it would pretty much look almost exactly like it, which is definitely a cool part of it. But the Musou gameplay is interesting. Like, you know, I think it'll be different compared to the turn-based gameplay that people know from the original game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it still seems like it looks and feels and operates like the original game. You know, so there's still a pretty big emphasis on sneaking around and trying to avoid being caught by the shadows, so you can ambush them and get like sneak attacks in. And when you do an ambush on an enemy, they'll sort of break apart into like a big group of shadows, and then you'll go to like, you know, start hacking and slashing away at them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a mechanic that was in the demo where basically there are like sentries that will be roaming around, and you want to try to avoid them so that way you prevent more shadows from appearing. So if you get caught by one of the sentries, then that'll call in more sort of reinforcements to attack you. And then there was also a mechanic where basically in the jails there'll be treasures you'll be able to find. But if you get, I think similar to like Persona 5, where basically there was like that meter that like if you got caught too many times, then it was. I think it works in a similar way to that. But if you get spotted too many times by the sentries, then it will lock you off from being able to access treasures. So that also sort of adds another level of that, where you want to try to sneak around, avoid being caught, so that you can find loot and items that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise.
Now, is the loot that you find in these treasures, is it like equipment? Is it things you sell for like high amounts of money? Like what sort of things are in these treasure chests?
I think so. Yeah, it seems like it's gear that you can, you know, equip to your characters and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, like even though it has that more sort of, you know, action style, you know, gameplay that we've seen from other Musou games, like it still seems like it's preserving a lot of the RPG elements from Persona that we know, especially because, like, you know, with your different characters you bring around, you can do all out attacks. So that way, you know, if you get to the characters to a certain point, you can, you know, hit a button and then all your party members will start attacking all the enemies and do a lot of damage to them. And you could do I forget what it was called in P5 Royal, but basically sort of like the character specific combination moves you could do. If you have like, you know, if you have Haru in your party and you have her leveled up to a certain amount, you could do sort of like a special combo attack with her or with Morgana or whoever you have in your party.
Interesting. That's cool. That was one of the neat parts about Persona 5 Royal were those team up attacks. Did they touch on at all kind of demon negotiation?
Not sure specifically. No. Oh, you mean like capturing the personas, like in. I'm not sure. They mentioned basically that like there will be a lot of the persona that we've seen in like in Persona 5 and stuff in the game that you'll be able to, you know, I guess utilize. And Joker, I would have to check for the other characters, but like Joker, I know in the demo you could equip different persona to him that you've obtained. They said like not all of the persona are going to be in there from Persona 5, but it says there'll be like a lot of them, and especially like a lot of the really well-known ones.
That's cool. Any sort of mention of like DLC content outside of the like the digital bonus stuff?
Not that I know of. No, they didn't make any mention about you know, if there's any DLC coming, but you know, who knows? Like I'm sure it's something that maybe, you know, depending on how well the game does, that they might think of doing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if they did any sort of stuff in Japan or not, but is there anything else that you that like really stood out to you about the demo?
No, I mean, I think pretty much everything we've touched on is what, you know, I think impressed me. Like this is a game I think, you know, especially after finishing Persona 5 Royal, like I've definitely been like other fans sort of waiting to hear like when the Western release was coming, and it only seemed like a matter of time until they announced it, just because of, like we said, like Persona's been getting more popular in the West especially, so you know it seemed like it was only a matter of time for this game to come here. And I think really like I'm just the most interested to see what the story stuff looks like and how that ties into the original game, because you know the demo we saw was mostly gameplay focused, but you know I think it'll be interesting to see where it picks up from the original game. And there was a new character in the demo whose name is Sophia, who we saw briefly in the demo. So I think it'll be interesting to see. And I'm also not sure. Like I would assume that there might be some kind of social link sort of equivalent system in this. I don't know 100%, but I would imagine they might try and tie that in somehow. So I think, yeah, it'd be interesting to see characters like Sophia and if they introduce any other new characters to the story. So I think as someone that really loved Persona 5, I'm definitely excited to see what Persona 5 Strikers does with that story and the characters.
You and me both.
Yeah.
I love these games, and I can't wait to finally get my hands on it. I'm actually fairly surprised because the release date is so close that they waited so long to announce a localization. I'm kind of blown away by that still.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, luckily we won't have long to wait to get our hands on Persona 5 Strikers. Super excited. Thanks for coming by and sitting down with me and kind of talking about what you saw, Ryan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like we said, by the time you'll watch this, we'll have some written impressions up of the demo that you can check out. And the trailer will also have been announced by Atlus, and the game will be coming out at the end of February on PS4, Switch, and PC. So we only have another 2 months or so till it comes out.
Perfect. Well, until next time, everybody, this has been a DualShockers discussion. Have a good one. That's right. Thanks to our friends over at 11-Bit Studios, we are giving out a bunch of codes for the Nintendo Switch version of The War of Mine Complete Edition. It's a unique survival title set in a war-ravaged country and winner of numerous accolades. It's even been added to the official reading list for schools over in Poland. Even Call of Duty can't tout as being required media, and that series makes $1 billion. This edition comes with all the previously released content, so you get a lot of game here. To win, just click on the link down in the video's description, fill out the doobly-doo, and simple as that. Winners will be announced on December 20th. These codes are good for the North American eShop, so winners will need an active account on there to redeem.
Good luck.